Philip Tell, thanks very much indeed for your thoughts on this. We're going to now cross to Israel and speak to Guy Lurie. He's the research fellow at the Israel Democracy Institute. Thanks for joining us, sir. Do you think this is now a question of Netanyahu's survival?
Well, I think Netanyahu is facing a constitutional crisis of unprecedented magnitude, and I think that his government's main agenda for the past few months, since it's been established, is under question, and so yes, it's also a question of his continued survival as a prime minister.
What do you think he's going to say? I mean, as we've been hearing, his speech has been delayed several times. What's happening behind the scenes?
Well, it's hard to say. I mean, there's been already rumors that he's going to pause the legislation, but it's questionable if that will happen, because there's a lot of within his coalition there are interest groups that want to continue the legislation. There are far-right protesters wanting to protest again tonight and trying to push forward the legislation. And he's been committed to the legislation, trying to push it forward for the past 2 or 3 months in a very, I'd say, intense and one-sided political process. So it's difficult to see him backing down now from that. But on the other side, I mean, it's the protest against it, the legislation, and the demonstrators have been very adamant for him to pause. And really the last straw of him firing the defense minister and the shock that came over through the country has been electrifying. And so it's difficult to say what will happen.
As a researcher on democracy in Israel, do you agree with those in the streets who say this is so serious that Israel's democracy really is at stake now?
I agree. Israel is in a very tenuous position in terms of protecting its democratic character, because there's a lack of checks and balances, and really the Supreme Court is the only effective check on the power of the government. And so when the governmental proposals seek really to curtail the judicial independence of the courts, then the whole democratic character of Israel is under stake. And really the one-sided process and the willingness to go forward with really a tremendous constitutional change without reaching any kind of wide consensus is also very concerning in terms of preserving the democratic character of Israel. And really, I think right now the protesters have been so fearful of the change that maybe even a pause will not be enough, and they want some sort of constitutional protection, entrenchment of the basic rights of citizens of Israel.
Guy Lurie from the Israel Democracy Institute. Thanks very much indeed, sir.
Thank you for having me.